I was talking to some people about it earlier, but yeah, unfortunately I can't have re-encode options available. But anyway, we're going to get underway with this game. I am Basekip, and I am very tired, and it is past midnight. It is well past my bedtime, but I am here casting some Doto for you guys, so bear with me. If I say anything stupid, if I make any miscalls, if I trip over my words, and if Mineski's names continue to mess me up, because Oa, Geo, and Joven are not playing underneath their actual names, so that's a little bit interesting for me. But anyway, so where are we at the moment? Mineski needs to win 2 more games in a row to take home the 1,000 Australian dollars. Rilimin, however, need to win 1 out of the next 2 to go home with the 1,000. No matter what happens, both teams are going home with at least $500. So definitely not a bad situation for anyone. So we're going to have another ban on Lone Druid. I don't think we've seen him at all in this series. Whichever team has had first pick has actually been routinely banning him out right now. And Mineski going to choose to ban out Batrider. And we'll see what the other ban's going to be from them. It might be Nyx, it might be Shadow Demon, it might even be Keeper of the Light. I'm not sure what Rilimin are looking for right now. I think both teams are getting quite tired, just as I am, and I don't know if we'll see them settle back into some maybe just more comfortable strategies, or if this is the time where Rilimin try and punch through, take Mineski unawares, and just try and force through a game. So Nyx is going to be the ban for Mineski, and Rilimin now going to have to carefully consider what this pick is going to be. Magnus really did work in the first game of the set. Got less done in the second game, and Keeper of Light going to be taken here by Rilimin. We'll see if they might just fall back on a defensive tri-lane centered around Coddle PL. And Frenchy Boy is definitely right. Pinoy Dota is definitely unpredictable, and I think Mineski showed that in the last game. And it's great to watch because, I mean, Alk, it's an innovative pick. It really worked out fantastically. They had a good game plan going in. And it's just always nice to watch Dota that is just outside of the box. It breaks the mold a little bit, so I'm always excited to watch something like that. But Mineski, they're going to go for Shadow Demon, a very, very popular pick. And this time, they're going to get the Magnus onto their side. So Rilimin, if they're going to go for Phantom Lancer, I think they need to go for Rubik plus PL right now, which is frankly going to leave their solo lanes a little bit weak. So that's the downside of taking that avenue. They could try and use the Keeper of Light in a very aggressive context as well. Pick up the Rubik, pick up a carry that has a disable or a stun, and then try and go aggressive on Mineski. The tri-lanes have actually worked out fairly evenly. Both teams making really clutch TPs in, getting trades back and forth. So neither team has a clear advantage as far as tri-lane execution is concerned. But Clockwork going to be the pick, along with Rubik for Rilimin. No, guys, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'll be tired at uni, but that's it. I've done way later nights casting, and I would much prefer to just be sitting here. I want to watch the conclusion of this. I don't want to go and watch VODs. I don't want to watch replays. I won't even be able to get the replays because it's not part of a tournament, so I'd have to beg one of the players to give me the replays. So, yeah. Do I even read chat, brah? I definitely read chat, brah, but you don't hear what I say except until 2 minutes after I say it. So that's the problem for you at the moment. But Clockwork can be played by T-Duck, and we're going to see if Rilimin can get some work done with that. Rubik, no big surprises, especially against the Magnus. And Rilimin with that pairing that really sort of won them the first game. Between the Rubik and the Clockwork, Vandal and T-Duck doing a lot of work in that one. And Mineski, what's it going to be for them? They can quite comfortably ban out the Phantom Lancer in the next round. If they want Leshrac, I think they need to take it now. Though it doesn't necessarily do that well against a Clockwork. So we shall have to see. If Mineski wants it, I think they need to take it. Otherwise, Rilimin are going to ban it. So we'll have to see. And actually going to go for Lina. So taking the other AoE stun to combo with Shadow Demon. So both teams have locked in all of their supports. They've sort of locked in their 3 position as well. It's a battle over 1 and 2s right now. Rilimin with a small advantage as far as the draft is concerned, since they have first pick coming out of this phase. So they can leave up what they really want to play and give Mineski what they would consider the weaker alternative. Mineski ran Alchemist in the last game, so we might just see a ban on that from Rilimin, unless they feel that their lineup this time is a little bit more adequately equipped to deal with them.
10 seconds remaining.
And everybody is convinced that we're going to see Cancer Lancer. He wasn't picked. I think Mineski just quite comfortably banned him out here. And Rilimin now just dipping into reserve time. And Mineski, a difficult team definitely to draft against because they have those heroes on the fringe. They have the Slardar, they have the DK, they have the Alchemist. They play a Beastmaster, they run this, they run that. And it means that the opposing team drafter has to just think that little bit more about every decision and just going to go for something fairly easy, at least to start, choosing to remove the Darkseer from the pool. And Leap Shikuchi would like to see some Silencer in this game. I'm not sure if it's going to be the case, but yeah. I was told that Fat Dog is Geo and LDCHH is Awa. Yeah, that's what... Okay, so yeah, that's not wrong. So, Phantom Lancer will be banned by Mineski. Anti-Mage going to be the chosen ban for Rilimin. I guess maybe thinking that Mineski won't go for Alchemist a second time. I think they've got even a better Alchemist lineup now with Magnus, Shadow Demon, and Lina. They've got a ton of lockdown to set up an unstable concoction, and they've got built-in cleave from Magnus. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see Alchemist if Rilimin let it through. Yeah, okay. Oh, sorry guys. Again, I'm quite tired. It's well past my bedtime, but there is Dota to cast, so Dota will be cast. And Mineski, so what do they need to think about as far as bans are concerned right now? I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like a Gyrocopter ban, frankly. Okay. So there you go, Gyrocopter ban by Mineski. Nice synergy with Keeper of the Light and Rubik. A sort of early to mid-game hero early to mid-game carry that Rilimin are apt to run. Just between the Naked and the Gyrocopter, I think it's some of their more common carries. And as we saw, they fell back on the Morphling in the last game, which worked out quite nicely, and it has worked out nicely in the past. But just the Alchemist got too big, and I mean, it was Laguna Blades, and it was everything thrown right at his face, and it took everything that Rilimin had to kill off that Alchemist. So yeah. And Juggernaut going to be the ban for Rilimin, so they leave that Alchemist in the pool, hoping that either Mineski aren't going to take it, or that they this time around have a strategy that they have the tools to deal with it. So Mineski, what's the last ban going to be for them? It looks like Rilimin are actually going to go pretty defensive. They've removed Split Push, and they've also removed just outright push in the Juggernaut, along with some early to mid-game presence. It looks like they're considering maybe quite a vulnerable carry,
10 seconds remaining.
potentially, or they could just go balls to the wall aggression and go Keeper of the Light Rubik plus CK, which is absolutely devastating. So that might be the case as well. It could be mind games going on with their bans, or just playing heroes that they just straight out don't want to play against. And what do we got going on? Definitely not Lone Druid, he's already been banned. And yeah, Mineski digging deep in reserve time, really considering this ban. And they're gonna go for the Queen of Pain in the end. So Rilimin, the puck is available to them. There are a bunch of other mids available to them as well. I'd like to see some Storm Spirit, frankly, but especially against Mineski's lineup, but perhaps not right now. Especially given that Mineski haven't really shown their mid just yet. And yeah, the bans of Rilimin are Lone Druid, Nyx, Darkseer, Anti-Mage, and Juggernaut, for anyone who is wondering. So Templar Assassin going to be taken by Rilimin as their mid. We don't see as much of TA of late, but still quite strong, in a lot fairer position as far as the overall game is concerned. And I like the pick. Mineski don't have a lot of tools to deal with Refraction. They don't have a lot of ways to burn through those charges. And right now, Magnus is not going to be a good matchup against the TA on mid either, so we'll see what they're going to be able to go for. Alchemist is actually pretty good against TA on mid, I have to say. If you give him a support to back him up, Acid Spray just completely zones the Templar Assassin out of the lane. Yes, he suffers a lot because of his fairly low armor, but that can obviously be mitigated with items later on in the game.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and no respect ban on the Alk.
5
And
seconds.
this guy would like to see Puck and Alk as the 4th and 5th, but it's going to be Weaver as the pickup for Mineski. So going to be back in the competent hands of Yanni. Looks like we're going to be seeing a Shadow Demon Lina Weaver tri-lane. I don't know if tri-laning into Keeper of Light plus Rubik is necessarily the greatest idea. And I think Rilimin here go for... I'd like to see CK, frankly. I'm not 100% sure what they're considering. It could be a Sven as well. I just think that the gankier style is really what they need to go for right now. They've got a Clockwork, they've got a TA, they've got a Rubik. They've got lots of tools to lock people down, they've got lots of things, they've got lots of burst damage. Any combination of their heroes is, you know, sort of kills. I'd love to see another ganker sort of meshing into that as well. So, we'll see. And what's it going to be? Gyro is banned. This is true. And you guys are 2 minutes behind, so it's very interesting to see what you guys are saying about what's coming up. I guess it's the one nice benefit of being the caster. I've got prior information, and the current score is 2-1 in favor of Rilimin. So thanks everyone for helping out in chat, and it is going to be Chaos Knight. So base Kip gets like 1 point. You know, it would be half a point, but I'm really tired, so I'm gonna claim a whole point there. And Rilimin, I really like the pickup. It works really well with Keeper of the Light and Rubik. You've got a lot of lockdown to pull people back into Illuminates. You can fuel CK spam with Keeper of the Light as well. And I think exactly what they need right now to try and just snipe Shadow Demon and Lina into Oblivion. And also pretty good at locking down Weaver. A couple of lucky stuns and Templar Assassin sitting on top is going to be good. And Outworld Devourer going to round things off for Team Mineski. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be OD matching up against TA on mid. I would suspect not a terrible matchup for the OD by any stretch of the imagination, and played by the very capable Joven. So, yeah, we'll see how this works out. And people wanted to play people wanted to see some Invoker, people wanted to see some Tinker, but we are going to see some Outworld Devourer. And what's going on? Okay, so we are in the game, and we're going to have a very quick pause, but again, this is effectively game 4, but really the third game that's been played of this grand final. On the side of Mineski, we have Joven playing the Outworld Devourer. We've got Yanni we've got Yanni playing Weaver. We've got I need to check names. Why is this? We've got Geo playing the Lina. We've got Oa playing Shadow Demon. We've got Jay playing Magnus. And what's going on? What have we got going on? Wait Merlini, wait Misery. I don't know what's going on there, but anyway. And T-Duck Clockwork for Prime Minister, apparently. Over on the side of Rilimin, we've got Varge playing the Templar Assassin. T-Duck is going to be on the Clockwork one more time, no big surprises. Vandal playing the Rubik one more time. Cux now on the Chaos Knight, and Lippy playing the Keeper of Light. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm back on chat to see all of your interesting comments. It's not 2-0, it is 2-1. Yeah, and everybody's being corrected there. So yeah, there we go. So, yeah, Mineski, what are the lanes going to be? Looks like Jay actually making his way down right now. Yanni going to be soloing on top. Very familiar starting build from him right now. And it's going to be a Magnus-centric tri-lane, of all things. Very interesting to see Jay all the way back behind the tower. That is some risky stuff from him. But feeling confident in his ability to escape. And Rilimin, I think they caught a glimpse, and maybe they're just going to head up towards top with their try. Everybody just waiting down on the low ground right now. Vandal still up on the high ground. And Mineski just getting into full tri-lane positions right now. Get the vision, get the rune vision. And pretty much ready to go. Rilimin playing this very cautiously to start the game out. Don't want to get smoked on. Don't want to be caught out. So, Looks like mid might be getting a bit of assist. No, not going to be getting assist from the supports. They're just going to be making their way straight up towards top. And there's an invis for OD to just slink past and get into lane. Worth noting that Varge has actually got a block while Joven doesn't at all. So it's going to be pretty difficult for him. At least to start things out in this middle lane. And Varge, really nice block. Gets the ranged creep in front. Gets it up on top of his hill. And just a fantastic start there. Mineski, 2 hiding in the trees. They're looking for T-Duck. He's going to throw out Cogs already. And the creep wave actually clashing in a pretty good spot for him. Not sure if they're going to be able to get this kill outright. But they need to try and make an attempt. And maybe just wait until T-Duck is going to go for that second set of Cogs, which I think he will. Yeah, goes for the Cogs, but in comes Oa. And are they going to be able to connect the stun? No, T-Duck just walks out. Saunters out casually. The Cogs actually keeping Geo. Keeping him away. So, yeah. Gonna be able to get away safely. And now the support's actually just gonna make a rotation over to mid. Joven on the OD. Already off to a pretty good start against Varge. And just denying him any semblance of mana right now. Varge actually gonna go pretty aggressive. Just trade blows to start things out. But thinks better of it in the end. And now pretty much completely does almost have his bottle finished up. And top lane Yanni just getting whatever farm he possibly can. Supports are actually going to be coming up to join him, so it's going to be Jay against T-Duck solo on bot, and we'll see if T-Duck is going to be able to get some solo kills done. I think he's just going to go for his sort of more solo kill oriented build. Pick up some point. We'll start maxing out the battery assault as opposed to maxing out the rocket flare. So we'll see what he's going to be able to get done. There's definitely kill potential going both ways in this lane, but for Jay, it's a little bit more reliant on being able to skewer a T-Duck back into a tower or something like that. And Baseskip, why did AQ lose? I don't know. Team Lad made it further than AQ. I was standing in for them, but correlation doesn't imply causation. And Vandal comes in, he's going to be clipped by a stun. Yanni, absolutely fine. Haste up on Oa, this might be the X factor that they need, and Lena may be in a little bit of trouble, but the Beatles, Vandal underneath the tower, he's going to drop. The courier comes in as well, they need to be careful. Burst immediately popped. Disruption up on Lippy, looks like he's going to drop, and the haste rune from the Shadow Demon doing an enormous amount of work there. 2 kills picked up by Mineski for that first blood, and off to a fantastic start. So, yeah, tri-lane goes well. They got kills on the supports. They're going to wander their way back up towards top, but already quite a few levels up on Yanni, up on Geo, and up on Oa. I'm just repeating the names so that I don't forget them. Again, I am quite tired at this point, guys. Joven on mid, still just happily out farming the Templar Assassin. Not a whole lot that Varge can do. Looks like he's just running some Bottle Crows, but unfortunately the Bottle Sips don't really do that much for him when he has such a low effective mana pool anyway. And Geo just running some pulls right now. And Jay on bot goes aggressive on T-Duck. There is a creep wave here to soak up the battery assault. And he does have a full bottle ready to go. I've got some pings ringing out across the map up on top. Vandal actually pushes in aggressively to the tower, gets the lift up, but not really any follow-up there on top of Yanni. Lippy just sitting back, but he is right underneath the Radiant Observer Ward. They're going to cut their way through the trees so that they can jump onto the Keeper of Light. Nice little plays. Now they cut down the remaining trees. Lippy goes down. Kux gets the Reality Rift up on to Fat Dog. But not enough mana for a stun. It looks like Vandal now in trouble. Going to be brought down. Gets the lift up. Both supports stunned. And looks like Vandal will be able to make it to safety. So nice little play from him. But Lippy goes down all the same. And he's going to have to walk his way back up towards top. T-Duck and Jay, as far as bottom lane is concerned, Jay is just running a Bottle Crow. T-Duck still has some sips. So I think he's a little bit ahead right now. Both of them sitting very, very even in terms of farm. It's a very farm-oriented lane. Overall, Varge is going to go and grab himself a rune, but it doesn't really do too much for him. Joven point in Arcane Orb and just pop those things immediately, but I don't think he really needs to bother farming, well, distinctly out-farming Varge on mid, who's going to try and get a little bit out of this refraction to get a few last hits. But yeah. Baseskip Flamer never subbing again. Sorry lolcats, man. I'm being flamed by my friends. Flamed by my friends for flaming them. T-Duck wants this kill on Jay. He doesn't actually have a skewer. If T-Duck can get in range, then that's going to be pretty bad. But no! Oh, ow, how did I miss that kill? Oh wow, that looks like it was huge. I'm so sorry, guys. Joven, Sanity's Eclipse, explodes Templar Assassin, survives on a mere 50 HP. Why was I looking at Jay at bot? T-Duck gets manages to get the cogs down, doing some pretty good damage, but the creeps are in here, soaking it up. There's a reverse polarity ready to go as well. Jay threatens, but he cancels. Now gets it down, but doesn't actually have enough mana to finish the job. And T-Duck might just go for it. He gets the hook, it connects, but he doesn't have enough mana either. Both of them chasing. A kill happens at top, another kill at top. Cuck's able to kill off Shadow Demon underneath the tower, 2 for 1. This bottom lane is deceptive, and it is ruining me seeing kills in the other lanes. Sorry about that one, guys. It was just both of them blew everything. Both ultimates popped, everything used, but nobody had enough to finish it. And unless T-Duck has a sixth sense about where he should fire this rocket, I don't think he should be able to get this kill. And it's only a level 1 rocket as well, not all that much damage. And Cucks are just being harassed. Varge comes back in on mid, straight back into his prison. And pretty much the story of that lane. But Jay, he's got a haste, he's got skewer, he's got shockwave. T-Duck juking around, goes into the trees, continues looping, doesn't actually have any spells to cast. Jukes across, shockwave completely through trees there from Jay. A little bit weird, and T-Duck going to be able to get back to safety as his bottle one more time is shipped out. Cucks the loop around on him, but they're actually going to be able to catch Shadow Demon. A little bit of dissension as far as their target is concerned, and Cucks now stunned up. The Soul Catcher, I think, actually luckily connected on him in the midst of all of these creeps. So skill or luck from Oa, we may never know. The rocket is flying top, but not really going to get too much done. Illuminate flying as well. So Mineski now lead by 4 kills, 2k experience, and about 1.5k gold. Jay continues to farm quite well down on bot, though T-Duck second on the scoreboard as far as overall farm is concerned. And still more Astral Imprisonments on mid. Varge just not having a great time. It's the nature of the matchup. He is getting CS, but Joven just being really a dominant force right now. And Jay rotates across. He's got a reverse polarity ready to go. And Varge is actually so low on mana that he can't cast Refraction and he can't cast Meld. Oh, this could be a very straightforward kill. There's a Sanity's Eclipse up as well. Needs to get one more stack. Needs to get that next Imprison off. Varge does not have enough mana to both Refract and Meld. Throws down a trap. Looks like Jay reconsiders. Just going to go for the 8-minute rune. There could have been an opportunity in there if they had checked out the mana, and Varge, he's going to go aggressive, but there's no charges left. So Joven's still distinctly in control, and now Jay going to make this rotation across. Cucks in trouble on top, gets the stun out, pops the stick charge, is still alive, Illuminate buys some space. Cucks still alive. Meanwhile on mid, they get the Imprison up on Varge. And now, pretty low on mana, actually manages to get some Refraction charges up for that Sanity's Eclipse, but I think boxed in by illusions, no. Still fighting, still running, gets imprisoned. Is there going to be TP support? There is from Vandal. Gets the lift, but the Shockwave finishes off the Templar Assassin, and Vandal comes in straight to his death. Arcane Orb going to finish him off very, very quickly. So now a 6-kill lead in favor of Mineski. And meanwhile, top lane still going fantastically. T-Duck getting a little bit of farming done at bot. 9 minutes in, just has his arcanes and has his bottle finished. And now picking up a TP, realizing that, well, I'm the only person who's really having an okay time in lane. I guess it's up to me to go and get things done, and hopefully T-Duck's Clockwork is going to live up to the fame and be able to do exactly that. Mineski, however, now going for a smoke. And not sure exactly who the target is. Lippy's actually shown his face on mid. Varge joins the gang on top, but can they actually kill Yanni? They get the sentry down, they get the lift, they need the chain stun. It's a 4-second stun. This is a dead Weaver. And a bit of luck there from Cucks, along with some nice play. Gets a kill for Rilimin, and very nicely timed from BDK. T-Duck, the gank. is going to be able to kill him off. So both of the safe laners will die at exactly, well, pretty much exactly the same time. The call from Rilimin is going to be to try to push into the tower. Double damage rune has spawned up for our 10-minute mark. And Lippy actually doing a really good job of just being a pain in the ass on mid. As you can see, he hasn't got in range to be imprisoned, so he's just sitting back and spamming Illuminate to try and stop Joven from getting too much farm, and Joven's just going to bottle himself up. Fortification's going to pop on top, and looks like Mineski would prefer to try and contest than try and push in at bot, but I'm not sure if they can actually stall long enough. Beetles come in, and Yanni still just stalling. Jay's going to be up there in just a second. 3 points in Skewer. The reverse polarity ready to go, but T-Duck up here as well. And Geo's here. They get the hook shot onto the Lina, jumping straight onto him. The battery assault, and now gets reality rifted out. Throws out the Laguna Blade. 2-second stun. Yanni now has a little bit of breathing room, and in comes Joven. T-Duck skewered back into the tower range, but still fairly tanky. Vandal is here. He's got Shikuchi. Illuminate flies, not connecting on anyone. And Joven still standing his ground. Kux is going to drop. Varge turns himself around, but now gets reverse polarity. A defensive and astral imprisonment from OD. Going to buy him some space as he gets knocked out to the side. And T-Duck will drop as Varge just lies in wait with the meld. Wants to try and finish off Oa. Can he do so? No. Gets disrupted right before the last right click. There's the turnaround and a nice shockwave from Jay. Gets the kill. Triple kill for the Shadow Demon. Huge plays from Mineski, and all of them just a matter of seconds, a matter of a couple of mana, a matter of a very small position. But very nicely played. And looks like in the end, I think Joven got boxed in by the cogs and then bounced against the trees and then back into the cogs and then back into the trees. And that's probably what killed him in the end, because it looked like he was okay. So it went down in the end, but it's still a 7-kill lead in favor of Mineski. And yes, Joven is absolutely destroying in terms of denies. 31 denies on the Obsidian, on the Outworld Destroyer. And given that TA is a ranged hero, that has really hurt her experience gain. So yeah, so far it's really not having a great game. Has his treads up, but that's about the extent of it, and we are now 12 minutes in. So, looks like Joven just working his way towards a 4-staff. Not a whole lot of farm, but still doing quite well on his Rubik. Has some arcane boots picked up. But bringing up the net worth, you can see that all 3 farmers on Mineski in a really good spot right now. Yanni, not too much farm, but still doing quite well. A little bit behind both the Magnus and the Outworld Destroyer, and the Shikuchi in, the Reality Rift back, but a disruption, well, not a disruption, but a stolen imprisonment from Vandal. Very nicely played, gets the setup for the stun. It's a 4-second stun, but it's been enough time for supports to come in. They get the defense disruption out. The Illuminate will connect, however, another turnaround onto Kux. The Gunnerblade thrown out on Vandal. He's still got imprisoned. Sanity's Eclipse going to be able to kill off Kux. A second hero drops, and now T-Duck just running himself away. Varge will make his way down bot, but very, very slowly. And Mineski already on top of the tower. T-Duck, no disruption available, so it looks like Oa just going to back himself out. And meanwhile, Yanni just happily pressuring up on top. So Mineski playing effectively 4v5 and still really working out well for them. T-Duck ready to go on bot, but the supports are actually far closer than they might realize. So Joven just a little bit of bait. They get the slowdown. There's a nice hook shot. Supports are going to come back in. Defensive disruption on Oa. Dodges the stun. Dodges the second stun. T-Duck, now the turnaround is on him. Joven alive. Kux disrupted. Oa's going to go down, however. Varge gets purged. They managed to pull off his charge. Nice 2-man stun from Geo. Is it going to be enough? Looks like it will be able to get Joven back to safety. And Varge, I think it's a bit of an argument about whether or not they want to actually engage here. The trap pops, and VDK just off to the side. 4-second stun up on Joven. A lot of damage from that one as well. He's going to drop, and now a stolen stun. Jay comes in, but a nice dodge out of the way from Rubik. Can't actually steal that reverse polarity. Another 2-man stun. Varge still surviving by the skin of his teeth, just using the refraction. But gets hit by the Laguna Blade there and will go down. Kux, Beetles on him. This is his second time in this fight. Can't really afford to go down again. And now the turnaround, the bug still working its way across. 2-second stun up on Geo, but it's all that they need. Oa rejoins the fight, and Vandal with the stolen Shikuchi going to make his way after the Shadow Demon. T-Duck with the hook shot in just a few seconds. They turn around, they get the disruption, but the Reality Rift across. Demonic Purge throwing out as much damage as he possibly can. There's the Soul Catcher as well. Will it be enough? It will. Very nicely played by Oa. turning a bad situation into one a little bit more positive. At the end, after all of the dust settles, it's still a 7-kill lead in favor of Mineski. But, well, not a buyback, not even a buyback from CK. He died at the start of the fight, had enough time to respawn, and got all the way back to the fight a second time. So I think everybody had a bit of a trip down towards bottom lane there. Now, Rilimin putting on a bit of pressure. There's a 4-staff up on OD. They need to be cautious of that initiation range. Just with the imprisonment. Jay is just going to go and farm a bit on top. Would really like to finish off his Blink Dagger. So I think that's going to be the call from him. And Rocket's just doing a little bit of scouting right now. And T-Duck at the front, ready to go with the hookshot, though there are 3 heroes down bot. And hopefully a TP available for Yanni. No TP available. I think Mineski have to give this one up. No fortification, ready to go. Geo just down on the low ground, needs to be very cautious about this hookshot. And looks like it's just going to be the tier 1 taken. Without Yanni being able to come in. And with Jay just really wanting to finish off that Blink Dagger. Mineski not going to be going for anything too aggressive. And Jay does now have that Blink. Vandal comes in, he gets the Shiguchi damage, he gets the lift, gonna have another Shiguchi in just a second, steals the shockwave, there's a hook shot, but I think it connected on some creeps. So Jay gonna be able to use that freshly acquired blink to get himself out. Yeah, no, if Mineski win this game, I will definitely cast the next game, guys. There is no doubt about that in my mind. I can catch up a lecture, I can't catch up this game. Someone's gonna spoil it for me. Right after I wake up tomorrow if I miss it, so I have to watch this. Jay, he is invisible, and he is currently behind the Radiant Tier 1, and he is currently seeing 3 heroes comfortably within 410 range, which he might just reverse polarity. So he waits, he skewers, he goes in, he gets the reverse, no, he gets lifted, Vandal too quick! And now Jay, defensive disruption, buys him some time. Not great coordination there, however, with Lena. Cucks in the middle, gonna pop the Phantasm. I think it got him out of the reverse, but the Sanity's Eclipse is gonna finish him off all the same. And now Vandal just running out with the bug, manages to pull it off. He stole reverse, turned it around. Geo still earning up. There's an imprisonment going out, 2 already dead, and Barge just dropped in the back of the fight. And T-Duck, where is the hook shot? Where is he gone? He's actually hooked all the way back. And they found Jay at the back of the fight and killed him off. I completely lost track of Magnus in that fight. Mineski, they're not done. There's 3 dead, and they want this tower. Yanni has Geminate attack back off cooldown. So they go in. T-Duck wants to deny. He wants it bad, but it might be trouble for him. Gets disrupted. There's going to be a stun. And yeah, T-Duck now in trouble. The Reality Rift goes back. And Oa gonna drop. Nice illuminate. Everybody's so low. The drum charge is gonna pop. Cucks wants blood. He's got Reality Rift as well. Brings back the Lena. Nicely timed stun. Buys some space. Buys a little bit of space for OD to escape. And a nicely placed stun, I suppose, instead. But Rilimin do find a couple of punishes at the tail end of that team fight, but still an 8-kill lead to Mineski right now. As far as experience is concerned, it's about a 5k lead in their favor and about a 1.5k lead in terms of gold. So not an enormous gold lead, though it is an even tower situation right now. But less gold than I would expect, given the kills and given the position of the net worth graph. I guess the Rilimin support's just getting a little bit more out of the map, and they are slightly more farm oriented. Tier 1 tower goes down, there's a disruption up, and Cuck's gonna get skewered straight back into the Laguna Blade as well. So much hate thrown out of the Chaos Knight. And just immediately drops, and now Yanni chasing in. It's 4v3. The Illuminate going to try and buy a little bit of space. But they get to lift up on Yanni, throw out the meld, say back off. But the time-lapse pops, and are they going to keep going for this? There's a blink and a reverse ready to go on Jay. He's actually looping around, and looks like Rilimin are walking back in. There's a skewer not quite ready. Just get the hook shot in. They actually managed to kill off Yanni. And Joven goes down as well. Where did that damage come from? Reverse polarity threatened by Jay, but he gets hit by the... Well, it gets hit by the Clockwork, I believe. Just by hit by that battery assault, T-Duck in a little bit of trouble. And Vandal just wants to use this reverse polarity that he's stolen before he dies, just throws it down on the Shadow Demon Jay in big trouble. He can have the blink up in just a second. No! T-Duck stops him from escaping using the rocket flare, now just walking straight on top of Oa. Double kill for the Clockwork. And Mineski now with respawns, a buyback on Jay. He wants blood, but it's not gonna be anything left for him. And Rilimin I have no idea how that team fight went so well. Jay was on the side, there were 4 heroes running. It looked like it was going to be a 4-man reverse polarity, and then all of the damage just over the top, but somehow the hookshot connects in. They've managed to kill both OD and Yanni, and from there just a fantastic fight. So Rilimin with that last little engagement straight back into this one. Stream is lagging. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not getting any frame drop on my end. So if it's lagging for you, I really apologize. I'll do my best to work on getting green code set up. If you ever have to, well, if you ever come and watch me stream again, then I will do my absolute best to make sure that you guys can have all the quality options. So 360p, 240p, whatever the ones below 480 are. I'll do my best about that. It could be the Twitch servers having instability as well, but as far as I can tell, things should be pretty stable. So Mineski with that little bit of overextension, gonna just apply some pressure on the tier 1 down at bot, but T-Duck says, I'm here, I'm in the trees, and I've got a hookshot ready to go. What are you guys doing? But Rilimin, everybody else is just a little bit too far away, and Mineski call his bluff and to say, well, we're here to take your tower, and you can go home, Clockwork. So that's exactly what he did. And Geo makes his way down. Kux is going to apply some split pressure on top, just working his way towards a BKB. Has the Phantasm ready to go as well, though TP's already heading back to try and stall this push. And Mineski just running around as 4 for the moment. We've got a smoke out from Rilimin. Vandal still has Blink, and he has the reverse polarity as well. This could be absolutely devastating. Oh, Vandal. Vandal. Oh, this could be bad. Mineski are actually grouped up on mid. Do they know that he still has reverse? He goes in, he gets the reverse on 3. There's the hookshot as well, the stun. Geo tries to buy some space. Kux now with the reverse, well, now with the reality after jumping across. Yanni trying to escape. It was only the Shadow Demon as the casualty. I think he got a disruption off, but now 2. OD disrupts him, well, manages to imprison himself defensively, but goes down. And Vandal with the reverse, with the stolen Light Strike array, comboing over the top, doing work. Jay on the way out. His own reverse polarity available, but no damage to follow it up. Fortification's gonna pop, but Rilimin pressuring straight in. Yeesh, and now Rilimin only down by 3 kills and pushing experience and gold back onto their side for pretty much the first time in a very long time. 2k the gold lead, and all of a sudden 2.5k the experience lead as well. Mineski still far from done. But things definitely a lot more difficult than they were just 5 minutes ago. And Rilimin just up on top, back behind Vandal, and Rubik with a blink doing work this game. I mean, he may be a support, he may be a 4 position, but he's having the impact of having an impact of a hero that has, well, I guess 3 or 4 times his farm right now. And Kux, with that fight, almost has his BKB finished up. It's a really big pickup for him. It means that he just doesn't care about OD at all. OD will be able to kill off his illusions quite soundly, but with that BKB, I mean, Kux can just enter full, I don't really care, I am now in the middle of your fight mode. And Mineski just waiting around for Shadow Poison to be able to kill off the Radiant Ward. So still making all the right moves, staying defensive, and they're going to actually go for a smoke. Rocket's not going to spot any of this. Rilimin, what's the game plan for them? Just staying grouped together as 4 for now. Kux trying to finish off that BKB at bot, and Mineski, is it going to be straight into the Roshan pit? Looks like it will be. It's worked out well for them in the past, and just falling back on it now. Ping's going out from Mineski, and Kux actually walks across, maybe has his suspicions. He's got a BKB, and there's a double damage rune conveniently waiting for him just outside. The rockets fly in. Looks like Rilimin know what's going on. The double damage up on Kux. He's going to blow the BKB, and in hooks T-Duck. There's the cogs. Skewer out from Jay. T-Duck outside of this fight, but Joven still stuck. The Aegis on the ground. Shadow Demon going to be forced to pick that one up. He gets immediately popped by a crit from Chaos Knight, and Kux still hunting. Joven's up on the high ground. He's going to try and TP himself out. It's damage control mode for Mineski. 2 dead so far. And Mineski on the run. Joven's already managed to TP. Looks like Yanni should be absolutely fine. Shikuching his way to safety, but not what Mineski wanted out of that Roshan fight at all. Buyback not available for Magnus. And who actually got the Roshan in the end. Roshan was killed by the Dire, so 200 gold for them. All of the experience as well, but still not the best
Dire's
outcome.
bottom tower is under attack.
And yeah, Rilimin now pushing in, going to be able to get this tier 2 dead on bot. Mineski will have respawns, and they will have reverse polarity and a blink ready to go. So we'll see how ballsy Rilimin are feeling after that fairly big win at the Roshan pit. And they've got a lot of momentum right now. They're going to blink in. They're going to be able to grab Yanni. They've got a chain stun as well. The hook shot in from T-Duck. The combo of T-Duck and Vandal just too strong, too coordinated. And VGK knowing exactly when he can get these kills, even on a very evasive hero like Weaver. Skewer attempted by Jay. Good awareness from Vandal. Oh, and the reality rift back. BKB pops. Kux wants this, and the cogs from T-Duck keeping everybody zoned out. And Kux now has another reality rift in just a second. Lift up into the air on Jove, and he's going to be able to imprison himself defensively. Throws up the Sanity's Eclipse, but there's a pipe. Goes for the imprison. They manage to bring down T-Duck, but right after he comes out, going to go down. Gets hit by the stolen Laguna Blade. Vandal, too strong. And it looks like Rilimin going to be able to get a rack out of this one. No buybacks available on the Dire. The lonely Lina trying to defend this one. And Kux, well, no Phantasms available at the moment, but still some great damage going out. And yeah, Mineski starting to look pretty grim for them. They're going to have respawns. They're going to have that reverse polarity up and ready to go, but no Joven for at least 30 seconds. They're already onto the Rex. And Yanni, well, now comes in. Looks like Rilimin just going to play this one defensively. Feeling a little bit low on life. And I guess just going to wait around for these big cooldowns to come back up. Along with obviously having T-Duck back online. So Mineski get themselves a little bit of breathing room. But for the first time in a while, Rilimin now leading in terms of kills. Up by 2, up by 7.5k experience. And up by over 5.5k gold. So it's a long way back into this game for Mineski, but you have to believe. You have to believe. And Varge working his way towards a BKB, despite the terrible start, recovering in terms of farm. Kux getting farm out of nowhere. Another 2.4k gold up in the bank for him, just adding kills to his tally, I suspect right now. Lippy already with a pipe, ridiculously farmed in the Keeper of Light. And that farm discrepancy just between the Radiant supports and the Dire supports really rearing its ugly head at this point in the game. So Yanni's still working his way towards that Lincoln Sphere. Varge almost has his BKB finished up, I believe. This is an Ogre Club sitting on the Courier right now, so just need that last couple hundred gold. And Kux at this point, well, could pick up an Armlet, but probably just going to be working towards another big damage item. Could even be a Manta style, depending. But Rilimin, they're looking to clinch this one out very, very soon. And Vandal still has a rank 1 Laguna Blade. Up. Oh, this could be bad. They get vision. Is there going to be a hook shot from T-Duck? Everybody force staffing away, but T-Duck manages to grab onto Jay. He's still got Skewer, but the cogs prevent him from doing so. And now stuck in no man's land. He's got Skewer. He's going to get caught. Manages to Skewer 2 up into the high ground. But Kux already popping his BKB 4-second stun. Jay gets imprisoned defensively. Really nice play there by Joven, but T-Duck just zoning everybody out. Jay managed to get the reverse polarity down on 2. VDK just waiting for the steal. Can't actually get it. Just going to have to go for the kill. Gets the dominating streak out of that one. Another 4 staff away. Eliminate in over the top. 3-second stun up on Yanni. He's going to drop. The stun's just too much. The chase too much. The blink from Vandal. The stun as the follow-up. The Sanity's Eclipse will pop. And Laguna Blade manages to bring down 1. Joven is still just barely alive, but as soon as he drops out of that imprisonment, he's going to drop. And Vandal, very, very low on mana, but still wants these kills, chasing after Geo. Gets disrupted up, able to blink himself back down onto the low ground. And Oa now just fighting Varge. This is Reality Rift across as well. And at the end of that treacherous path from the top tower, Rilimin find themselves at the Dire racks with nary a creep in sight. So T-Duck's going to go all the way back to try and push this lane out. And Rilimin are going to fight against backdoor protection and fortification. A little bit early on the fortification there from Mineski. They could have let the racks drop lower, pop the fortification, and then the backdoor regen would have just zipped it all the way up during the duration of the fortification. But I guess getting it on cooldown earlier, also a bit of a help. And they're not making any progress against Fortify. Not making any progress anyway. So Mineski actually get enough time to respawn, but they don't get enough time for reverse polarity to cool down. And there's now creeps in the base. Rilimin ready to go. And I think Jay, all he can really hope for right now is a blink and a skewer in on somebody significant. But I think Mineski just going to have to let them get away with that Rax. So 6 kills lead for Rilimin, a 12k experience lead, and heading up towards a 10k gold lead as well. And I already showed the graphs. I'm not sure I'm going back there. I was heading for items, if anyone is interested. So Vandal's got a 4-staff, he's got a blink, he is doing work undeniably in this game. Looks like T-Duck almost has his Aghanim Scepter finished up. Maybe a little bit further away than I thought. And still the pipe up on Lippy. Not a whole lot of item progression over on Mineski just yet. And we've got a Ghost Scepter picked up by Geo. And Lincoln Sphere almost finished for Yanni, but not quite. And Kux has a double damage. They're going to be able to get this tower down. Can they actually initiate is the question. And Kux ready to go with this DD. Nice hook shot in from T-Duck. Actually catches 2, putting out the damage. There's a disruption, a little bit of bad coordination, and the battery assault still doing damage over the top of that. Ghost Scepter pops, but Vandal ready to go. Pipe's going to pop as well. They continue to chase up onto the high ground. The Lincoln Sphere freshly acquired for Yanni. Going to stop that stun from connecting, and the Beetles going to stall them at least for the duration of this pipe. Reverse Pilates goes in on 2. Vandal gets the steal. He's got the blink. He's got the steal. He goes back in. He reverses. It's in the middle of the cogs. Cuck's going to work, able to drag one out. This is just absolute carnage right now. Yanni doing what he can, but looks like he's just going to be bursted down. Has Shikuchi up. And Lincoln Sphere for the second time is going to save him. Vandal sliding in, gets the steal, gets Shikuchi putting out damage. But Vandal with a huge steal, blinks straight in. They get an enormous amount of lockdown, and I think we just had spill damage and illusions going to work from there. And Rilimin going to be able to bring down a second Rax and probably just make their way down towards the third and lock out this game. Mineski still waiting a very long time for respawns. And no buybacks available for the moment. So it's looking like Rilimin going to be walking away with $1,000, but no GG just yet. And Mineski, I guess, never say die. Even if they lose this, they are going home with at least 500 Australian dollars. So if someone wants to do the conversion to whatever currency is relevant for the Philippines, then please feel free to do so. Oh, it's going to be dragged back immediately. Burst. Well, not dead just yet. Where is he? Looks like he managed to disrupt himself right as he got reality rifted back. Still alive. And Mineski still fighting. T-Duck hookshots back in straight on. Well, straight on to Joven, who pops his hand into the clips, gets 1 kill. Buyback from Kux. He's still a ways away from this fight. Mineski still fighting. Vandal on the way out. Hits the 4-staff, but actually ends up walking back in. Gem on the ground. Buyback from all of Rilimin right now, but Yanni's still fighting. 4-second stun up on Joven, but teammates making space for him. And Kux now forced to just fight a Beetle for a bit. They get the skewer back on Lippy. Vargas coming in. Now blows the BKB. Stun. Connects on Lippy. Laguna Blade going to finish him off. A defensive imprisonment there. And again, the Lincoln Sphere just doing work. Reverse Pilates threatened. Will be cast by Jay. Kux and Varg in a little bit of trouble. The follow-up stun is there. Geometry on the ground. And Kux stands his ground. Ultra kill for Yanni. Rampage for Yanni. VDK comes in. Puts an end to all of that with just a single stolen shockwave. But nicely played there by the Weaver. And Rilimin, they throw buybacks. Well, they throw buybacks into that fight. But actually pretty much end up with everyone being wiped out regardless. So Vandal, not the lone survivor, the lone guy who made it to the end of the fight, forced to just wander around outside the Dire base, at least for a little bit. And we've got GG's being called. It's not quite in chat. But yeah, it's looking really, really good for Rilimin. They've got 1 set of racks left to take. Mineski have only bought themselves a bit of a brief respite. The calm before the storm. Roshan's going to respawn in about 30 seconds. And I think that heralds the end for Mineski right now. I'm not sure they can actually go out and contest this. And they can't afford to risk a Roshan as disastrous as the first one in this game. And Vandal, he is still just chilling out down on bot. Looks like he's working his way towards a Hex. Very, very farmed on Rubik. Now officially more farmed than Joven is, with his fantastic start on his OD. Unfortunately, has tied up his score 8-8-8. A lot of hate going his way, and a lot of hook shots going his way as well in this game. Roshan has respawned. Courier scouting going on, I believe, for Mineski. Really Courier as well. But yeah, Rilimin just ready to try and push in and take this Aegis. Bottom lane is pushing out at least a little bit, so they'll probably do some maintenance there. But both top and mid need to be mitigated by Mineski. So I'm not sure if they can actually push out and try and contest this Roshan, but they damn well might try, and Geo has a smoke ready to go. They don't have any buildings left, so they've got nothing to actually soak up these creeps. So they're going to do their best to just get some damage out. They go for the smoke, but I think this might have been spotted just by the rocket, but I don't think it matters. This needs to be the biggest reverse polarity ever, and Roshan is already dead as Mineski managed to get into position. Just too much damage, especially with the meld up on TA, and now a Demon Edge added to her arsenal. But Rilimin, well, they've got the Aegis up, they've got the Aegis on Kux, and Jay, Yanni, and Joven hiding in the wings, but they get spotted immediately by T-Like. He knows what's going on, and now they get out. Hookshot's not going to connect. TP and Force Staff and skewers out. There's a purge up on Varge. He's going to blow his BKB, trying to make some space. T-Like jumps in. He's got Cogs ready to go. The reverse polarity only thrown out on Kux and Varge. Is that going to be a steal on reverse? It's not. It's just Shockwave nicely covered there. And now Geo in a bit of trouble, going to pop his Ghost Scepter just to survive. Joven going to go down, however, Gem on the ground. Reality Rift not going to be able to pull Jay back. Disruption up on Varge. And dropping fairly low, but still alive for the moment. Yanni now turns his attention that way. And Oa in trouble. GG going to be called. And congratulations from Joven. Nicely played by Rilimin. The fight's still happening. But yeah, Rilimin are your overall champions. So thank you everybody. This was Tides Wrath 2. This is our grand final. I've been Baseskip. This is Rilimin versus Mineski. Mineski had a great run. A lot of great games today. Showed some really innovative strats. But they're going to be going home second with 500 Australian dollars. Rilimin are your champions, and they're going to go home with 1K. And yes, there were obviously ping complications for Mineski in this game as well. So worth keeping in mind. And definitely playing fantastically despite it. So I've been Baseskip. This is Tides Wrath. I'd like to thank all of the other casters and everybody else that contributed to this event. Everybody else that played in this event. I'd like to shout out to AQ. I'd like to shout out to TYH. I'd like to shout out to Lad as well. Thanks guys for having me along to play with you in the competition. Big thanks to Duel for organizing all of this. Thanks to everyone who put up prize money. And thanks to all of you who came along to watch. And made this experience very, very enjoyable for today, for our final set of Tides Wrath. So if you guys want to support me, then you can subscribe here on Twitch. You can subscribe to my YouTube page, which is just youtube.com/Baseskip. My Twitter is just @Baseskip. So if you want to support me anywhere among those locations, then please feel free to do so. I'd love to have you along for the ride as I keep going forward with my casting. Again, if you guys have any feedback for me, pretty much the same locations, or send me an email at baseskipdota@gmail.com. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'll chill out and chat for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to go and get some sleep. So thanks everybody, and I hope to see you in future broadcasts.